Hello guys and welcome back to JavaScript Master Class. In this session you learn 5 known JavaScript tools that combine practical front-end powered with hidden internal tricks used by pro. So we'll see things like object properties, array map, array filters, and API request, fetch request, all of that. So by the end of this video, so we'll create this project. So this project will it's much focus on data, so manipulating data. So fetch data, manipulate data, show which data you want to see, or want to user to see. Also filter, kind of this show the data, this all of these things. So we can play with around with this one. So this is what we're going to do by the end of this video. So this is actually things tricks we use in Rail project. All right, my name is Shaban Muswamba. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and like the video and also share. Let's get started. All right, so to get started, we can create a folder in here. I want to store that in my desktop. JS master class. So you can open this with VS Code. Open with VS Code, and what we need to do next, we can clear this, but we can do something like first of all, we can since we want to run. See if you see this one. See, we are running this on a live server. So we can actually stop that if I go to this application. I don't know which application is it again. I think it's this one. So we can do something like, oh, it was already stopped. I think I deleted the project. Yes. But anyway, it's fine. We can just close this one. Doesn't matter. Okay. So from here, this is what the one. From here, we want to init npm. We want to do npm. So if you don't know much about npm, doesn't matter. Just run npm init, and this will initiate a project. So we can do init. Just type enter. Okay. The name of the package JS master class is fine. Version 1.0 is fine. This is JavaScript master mini master class like this. Okay. Entry point index.js. Okay. So test. That's fine. We will correct that. Repository. So if you want, you can create a repository for this. What I don't have it. I already have another repository for this one from GitHub. So you can skip this one. And keyword JS. So we can put as many you want. So you put your name, Shabani Muswamba, and license. That's correct. That's correct. Correct. So we can just set as this, like this is correct. So here we can make some modification. We don't need this. We don't need main. We don't need this. And here we don't really need this one. We need instead start Node.js. Start Node.js, but you can also use dev if you also want something like dev. Sorry, dev, and then dev Node.js. So if you run dev or run you run npm start or npm dev, can do the same thing. So we can also do dev dependencies. like this. So we can install nope, we can install a live saver, live saver like that. Not yeah, that. Okay, so we can save this one, but one thing we need to install first of all before even getting started, make sure that you have a live saver. Make sure that you have live saver, so you can go to application extensions, search for extension for VS Code. I'm using VS Code for this one so that I can run live saver. So you can search for live saver. I have it installed already. Live saver preview. Nope. Yeah, you can run we can you can install live saver. I'm trying to see which package you can use. That's correct. Live saver. Yeah, this one. I have it installed already, so you can install this one, and we are good to go. Okay. Another thing we can. So we have a couple of things to do in here, but I don't know. We don't have much to install. We don't have to install anything. The only thing you can do is run npm. Run npm install like this. Right now we don't have the package JSON, but if you run that, we get the package. We get the node. If you run npm install, that's correct. So this will take a couple of seconds, and I'll see you once the installation completes successfully. All right, so we will run script. Script here. If you also want to start, but it's fine actually like this. You can just okay, but we can change instead to run node. We don't want to run node. We can instead to run. We can change this to run because we want to run live server, so we can use live server, and then we can even specify the port. Dash port. Nope. Let's use this another different port here. Let's say 3000 or 3001. And here we can use the same thing here. So in case we start this one, we can use the same thing here. We don't want to run node because we don't really have much to do here. I think that's correct. That's the only thing can do here. The other thing we can now create our, since we want to use just index.html, index.html like that. So HTML5, we get that. Just do to hello world. So this is the only thing we want to see. That's correct. So if now we do npm run, no, npm start like this. Now this is start our application here. This is the only thing we need here. So the rest of the things, I'll just paste some HTML in here. Yeah, I'll just paste some HTML in here and CSS so we can start building. We start now develop with our JavaScript. All right. I added some HTML here. This one, just a little bit of style, so it doesn't matter how much style we don't need already much style here, but except for image and cards, all of that. Okay, so I also have markdown here. I want to put markdown. I can do readme.md for markdown. So this can help us to see what we are doing and even the URL. Sorry. Okay, that's correct. This is the URL, so we can use this. You can use any. So okay, we just want to start. All right, so we can decide to create script here. If you want, we can create script here, and this we can go to. So we create a folder called maybe asset like this, and then from here we can create maybe let's create a script.js, or the just index. I don't know, index.js could be okay. Index.js. So in here where we can now write our JS. So if I can do console.log something, hello from index.js to see. Save this one. So here we want to see if you are actually going to load that file. So you can do asset, let's do asset and load that file. So if I go back to here, I want to see, I can this way. I think this way is better. This way is actually better. So you can see that our file is loading hello from index.js. Okay, next, what can you do? So now everything we are going to write here in an index, since it's about JavaScript, so we are going to use index.js. Here, I want to see you. This is where we append our list. We will append our list here. So we just have our input here to do a few things. All right. So what do we start? We're going to start with. We can start with if you go to our Markdown. What do you want to start with first here? We can see what can be easy to start. We can start with the object. We can create an object. Okay, so let's start with the object hiding and lock property. Lock a property. We can go. Let's create a user. User is equal to an empty object like this. So we can do object define property, not properties. So we can pass like this, and we pass user, which is the object we want, and then we add token, and we're just going to pass like this. Okay, so this is the token, the user. We can do writable. Writable is equal to false, and then also value. We pass value, and can try also enumerable false configuration, also first to set to false. So if I save this, we can try to, we want now to lock the token. Let's do console.lock user dot token. You'll see you get token here, but let's try to now select the token. So I can do user dot token, and then we put we put hacked like this, and then we can now console.lock console.lock. We want to see now the objects from this token. Which one can you appear in here? So we can do console.log. So .log object dot keys, and then we pass user. So you want to see the user object. You see, we get empty. The token is there. But if you remove this one, and then you try again, remove that one, try again. Oh, we hacked it there, so you can't appear. Yes, the token, it can't appear here. So this is how sometimes, in case maybe there's some data you get from the front end, but you don't want to use that to see it, or you want to hide it from the front end. So another thing, we can create another property. Let me comment this one. Let's create a maybe user const person const say person like this is equal to let's say first name and last name. So we don't pass you full name. We don't pass full name, but we can use this object to we can add we can define method getter and setter, so that if you call that method you can get now the properties, or you get the something like we can get username. Let's say define. This is our crash course, so we want to actually type define a new property or set and getter or getter like this, setter and getter. That's supposed to be okay. So we can do object.define property. We define property, one property. So we pass person, which is our object. So we want to define username, which is not there. Okay, so we can do get. If now we call get, we can just return username. So we can, for example, you can just say, okay, when you call this the get, return user, just return this first name. We take the first name in there and the last name. So just give the space there. So for the setter too, we take the value. So we take the value, we can just, I don't know, split the value into the first and last name. So if you can also give it a kind of a full name, you can just take split, get the first name and last name, and then just set the new value. I want to show you an example. If we come down here, if you do console.log person, this is the person. You see the person got last name and last first name and last name. But if I do console.log person.full name like this, so we get now Alice. So this is now already done. That's that value here. So we set it. But if you see up here, it wasn't there. So we use the getter and setter to set the property. Another thing is we can also define. Let's define. Take the user property. Take the Take the setter. Let's say, for example, we can set this one, set the full name, because we have a setter here, that is getter, but you have a setter here. Let's say we call now setter. You say Shabani Muswamba. If I save that, you see now we get you call the same, you call user again, you call user first name, you get Shabani. What you can do is remove this one. I want to just type it console.log person. This is what you get now. You get now Shabani. The first name is Shabani, the last name is Shabani. But up here, the one was top was there. The top one was Alice. If I remove this one, I can comment this two, save that. You see that you get Alice Wong. That's before setter. So if now we use the setter, and then just remove that one, and the console.log now the name. You see now we get the person. You see now we get now the first name is Shaban, last name is Musamba. So if I console.log full name, you see full name will be, it will be Shabani Musamba. So these are things here. These are very helpful things. You can use in different cases, especially when you are developing in a front end. All right, so just a takeaway for what we saw earlier. I want to just show you a quick review for what we saw. Okay, here is a just a configuration table. So writable this variable, this key here, where was it again? Yeah. So writable is actually a value can be changed. Yeah? So if you want to change, we can use a writable set to true. If you set to true, so that means you can writable. It can be writable, and enumerable will t. So this can show up in the loop. Enumerable, it can show up in the loop, and also we have configurable. It can be can the property be deleted or redefined later. And we have a getter setter, which also you can change the is a function. It's actually function for this one. I want to get back. So we have enumerable and configurable. So we have also this property getter and setter. So this is our property you can use to change also the value of an object. All right, so that was it for object. We can now try also to do real world things. Things we actually can do in a real application. But first of all, first of all, let's try to work on a map first. Before getting there, let's work on a map first. All right, let's talk about array map. Say array map. So let's create a small array here. Let's say, for example, a price. Just an example here. Just actually an example which we have in here. Array map. Okay, for example, we can see we can do prices is equal to, we just define the price here. So we can include the tax. We want to include the tax. Let's say, for example, price times one, price times 1.1%. 1.1, and then you show that we show the price here. The first thing is array map does not mutate the original array. So for example, if this is the original array prices, so if I console.log original is that correct? Original array, console.log original array, and then a new array. So if this is the first one, so we here for map, we will talk about this, but for now, let's just console.log. You can actually use again console.log. You see the first array is still 100, 200, and 300. Now the following array, we have added now the tax. So 110 and the 210 and 330. So you can see that the first array is still there intact. So what is JavaScript array is actually a built-in array method, which you can use to loop through the you can use to loop through or modify element an array element and return a new array. So we are not changing the old one, you are not changing the original array. So this is helpful if, for example, we want to get users. Get users from an API, users or data from API, and then process that data and just show a couple of things. So this could be maybe object. It could be object. Let's say, for example, price 100, and also set maybe tax 10% or tax 0%. Tax was, for example, 0%. Let's say it was 0%, like this. Kind of things like this one. Another one, tax, and also define maybe another like this one. Okay, so we can say we take now all the array, and then this one, it can't work like this. So what we have to do, you have to redefine this. So we can include the tax, To include now tags, you see, we can take prices.map. So we take the item, which is one item. This is an object. We take the item and item.price. We take dot price dot. We can do time dot price, and then you take the tax plus tax dot plus item dot tax divided by 100. So if I save that, you see now what we get. So we can still get the same thing again. So the first one, you see, the first one was simple because it's just a simple array, but this one is an array of objects. This is an array of objects. So these kind of things we start to be using a lot, especially when you are building an application of your front end, even back end. So you still have to get the data, process the data. This is common things. So in most cases, you want to be using this simple array like this. Let's say let's say array is equal to, put the number 1, 2, 3, like this. No, array it won't be like this. Most of the time it won't be like this. Most of the time it will be this kind of arrays. And you have to use things like map. So this is a map. So we also got another one you got is filter. This was map. You see, this one is simpler, but we got also a filter. Okay, this is actually the one we've just seen. We've seen it, this one here. So this is the price, but instead to just have price, we have an object inside an array. So this is it. Another we can see next is a filter. We can also work on a filter. All right. Next, we want to see array filter. So array filter also take a callback, a function. Let's take want to talk with the examples here. This is the same thing. We did map there. Let's talk array filter. So we can do, for example, const. We can take the same one, but since we already defined there, we don't want to use that. We can remove this one, get rid of this, correct. So we take these prices. We can do const prices dot. First of all, I want to show you the array property. If you do console.log prices, we want to see properties of array. If you go here, you see that this is an array, and you can see prototypes is array, and you see we got so much things here, so much you can do. You can use filter. You can use filter. You can use also found. You can use found index. You can do last. So much you can do with the array. I hope you can see here. I can do array join for each flat map, flat. So there's so much. Some, I don't know. Some you might even not been using it. So you got also array reduce, array reverse, array shift. So these are properties for JavaScript. So when you talk about array JavaScript array map or array, you have to know to understand that this is a properties of JavaScript array. So if I do, for example, here, if I take just this one, we can do, for example, const. We want to create a new map, a new array. So the thing is, filter doesn't change the original array. No, it is not changing. The original array is still there. So we just define a new array, do whatever we want to do with the data given, and then return the new array. So, all right. So I've created a more another area which is actually it's got more data. So in this one, we only want to get paid orders. This is the array. So we got orders, price is equal to 100, tax is equal to 10, and shipping is equal to 5. Paid order through another paid is false. So we want to get the paid orders. I don't know, this can AI generated this, can get rid of this. So we want to get paid orders. So what we do is, okay, you take array um, orders. Remember the first one you can do the times and return. But this one we just want to select. We just want to return what we want. The map is, this is different from the map. So the map is, we can take the array data and then change the data and return a new data, a new array. So for this one, we take, for example, orders dot filters, and then we take one order. Sorry, we take one order dot return, and we return only pay. So this is a function. This is a the way you can do this one. You can do you take if order dot pay. Just want to show you if order is equal to true. This is what I want. This is what you can do, is equal to true. So we can return this, return true, else return false. But the short way to do this one, we can shorten this to just return orders, order dot pay. So this means if the pay is equal to true, we return it. So when everything we return, we assign, we push them to this new array. So if I console.log this new array, console.log this, minimize this, you see that we get this is what I get. You are only getting the one is true. So if I can also do if not that one, so we only return where is false. So this is the array. This is the job for filter. So this use case, most of this actually is a real world example. Most of the time, if you can see, for example, online store, and then we just want to get the paid users or paid orders. You want to filter paid order. You want to, so this is a common user of array filters. So what next? What next can we see? We can also see this is our array filter, and we can also see. Yeah, this is actually the same thing. So it's much example you can give this one. So I can just show you. We don't have to do this again because we've already seen it. We have already done array map. So next we can just go with the fetch. We can do fetch, get the data and manipulate the data. All right. So to get the data, first of all, you want to get the data from. You can go to this. What call random random users, like this. Yeah, random user.me. This is where we want to get the data. It's not correct. Random users. Random users, get this. So this is where we want to get a user. So you can get the URL. This one, this is the URL you can use if you want to. You can use that one, but I'll show you how you can use it another way. So you can just follow the URL the way I'm going to type it. But what we can do is we can define or declare the config, or let's say Object.freeze. You can do const config. Config is equal to Object.freeze, and we want to pass the API, which is going to be HTTP. We don't want to use that. You can use I can use this URL here. So the URL, if you type it, is going to be random user.me API slash API slash, and then you pass the result. You can pass 100. I want to get more because we want to play around with it. Okay, so that's correct. So we can set we can do something like create now. Let's do create a set, create I want to see what you can do. Okay, create a set and to collect unique email, so we can do email domains. Email domains is equal to new set. So we can also do what can you do? What else can you do? But before even that, we want to we can load the data first. I want to us to load the data and then see how the data we get. To do that, we can load, can do document. You can just load, but I like to do document dot ready. No, we can just, I don't know, you can just load the data. It should load. I don't think it will fail because you are loading load content, maybe something like load content. So the function is not there, but you need to define that function load content. So we don't take anything. When anytime we load this function, we just want to console.log something. So we can if we save that, we want to see if we got any error there. This is what we get in here. Yeah, I wanted to see that. Up here, you can just go up a little bit. So we make a request to where this. Okay, exactly. This is what I want to looking for. So you're making a request to random user.me API slash and then get 100. Okay, so what are you doing here? Here we make a request. We load this function. We load a function fetch. So we do not, this fetch is a JavaScript built in. So I don't want to explain much about the fetch. You can go to most of the things you also have to spend some time and read a little bit. So if you say JavaScript fetch, you can use a Mozilla, which is better. Yes, fetch API. So fetch API can help you concept and usage. The fetch API uses a request and a response object and other things involved with the network request. So fetch API is just to, we can use it for network requests. So what we do is fetch, and then we pass our object. If you see that fetch, we take input, request the URL, input. So we take the URL, and then also the init, and then we also take the request unit and the promise, which will now get the response. You can open Mozilla. This actually is exactly the same thing. What I was talking about. So you see that you can pass the URL, which we will pass here. Our URL we define it up here. We define our URL here in the config, and then this is the API. Yeah? So we access the object, we access the API, and then just do the make the request. Dot then the first then we just get the data, and then we convert it to JSON, and then the rest one, the other then we can now use the data. So we can now take the contact. Contact is equal to data.result. Because if we don't do that, if you just console.log data, you see what you see in here. This is our application, and yes, close this one. Oh, don't need to close that. It's our application, and you go to console. You see, this is the data. So you are getting data is actually involved with so many things here. There's the info, there is what, but we just want to result. If you see the proper types is object, so we want to result, so you can do dot result. If I do dot result, now we only get the result. So this is what we are doing here. So this is the things for real world applications. So we only get the data. So the data we assign it to this variable called contact. Huh? So we can now do here another method, another JavaScript property or array method is for each. So for each, can for each is not like map or filter. For each, we just look through the data. For example, here we do for each contact dot for each. Yeah? If I console.log contact console.log contact, what we get in contact, let's see what we get in contact. So you only showing we are getting an object which is cell, DOM, email, gender. So we get the user object, all information we are getting here from the user, including the picture. So we can do if you want, for example, we only want to get the domain. Yes? For example, here I want to get the domain. What do you do? So we do email is equal to contact.email. What's the email? This is the email. So we access the email. So once we get the email, we just add it to email.add. So this is an object. This is an object which we just set the email. So if you set the email down here, you can I can remove that and then just console.log email. So this is what we get. So we have a set, and here we just have emails. These are only emails. Okay, so this is a way to just show you what we can do with the data. So we can also do filter. This is the this was yeah, this was a fetch. We can also use filter. We can take the same thing you saw earlier. So we can take let's do filter. So we can do contact. I can expand this because AI keep also generating things here. All right, so we can do filter contact. So contact dot filter, and then we just take contact. We get email. We get email from contact. We get the domain, which is the domain. So we say email dot split at. We just split get the first part of email, and then we also take the domain name. So this is we just playing around with this. There's nothing much to do here. All right, so now let's do now the serious things here. So once we get the data here, we get the data. So we can assign to the domain. Sorry, we can get the domain or emails assigned to emails domain. That's correct. But another way also you can also do this just one way, one line of code. It doesn't matter. But now, if now we get to the contacts, instead of call it contact, it's fine. You can call it contact or e-users is fine. It doesn't complicate things. So render the users or render the users. You say render the contact list. So we don't want to do everything here. To keep our code clean, we can do render users or render contacts. So this will take contact. We don't have the function. We can create now the function here. So we can do function render users. Render user, we pass this one, and got now contact and this one. So if you save that, we don't have any error. So in here, what you want to do, so we want to display now this contact in this list here. So to do that, we can get the list const list is equal to document.get element by id list, this one. So once we get the list, we can now create we can since this is a this if you see this as html, this is an html, oh sorry, div, but we want to render list in here, list, unordered list, kind of this. So we can do this with just JavaScript automatically. So I can come here, I can do get document by ID, and then we can take our list dot inner HTML. We can append. So I want to show you how we can do the map. So we can take the contact. Contact and dot map. So dot map. So we take now a single contact. So single contact, you can now use now the list. Single contact, we can take return div. Let's see what AI is going to generate. Yes, that's correct. We don't have to type everything. So we can take div. We take div with a class of contact, and then we pass image. The source is going to be contact.picture. I've shown you where is the data we are receiving, we are getting from the API. We got also image. So contact.picture.image.large. We take the larger, and then we just show we show the picture, and here we show the name and the last name and also email. So if I save that, we go to application, this is what we get. We get this here. You see that we get the email and last email. So since we have a style which we can use, so our style, if you go to this here, you go to style, just a couple of style here. So we need to use wrap that in a card. This guy is supposed to be a card, and write in a card, and this card content. This is card slash content slash content, which is this one here, content slash content. And then also we can use h2 is h1 h2 h2. We can change this to h2. Save that. If you reload, this is what we get. Yeah, we get this. So we can add much. You can add much style, but we don't want to use that. But another thing is we can show the info. If you, for example, map, where is the map start? Map start from here. So if I do console.log, I want to show you. If you do console.log contact, go back here and then go to developer. You see that we get an object. Contact is an object, and if you see the object, this is what we get. We get email, gender, we got so much here. So we are not going to show all of this information. What I was telling you about picture, you see picture, we go to the large, we go to the medium and the small. We also got info. We also got contact contact info. What is contact info? It's supposed to see kind of information about location. These are locations. So if you want, we can show here. This is just contact. Maybe instead to call it contact, we can call it user. It depends. It doesn't matter. Here we can call this users. Call users and users dot. That whatever you're calling it, and so this one could be user, and this is user email and here log user, and just get the rest. We can change to user, and here too user, and user, and this one, and this one. Which one are you missing? If you're missing one, you probably get an error. Is any? Yes, we are getting an error. Cannot contact not found. Is where? Oh, this one. Yes, now this is correct. So we can now get, we are actually getting random users. Don't worry about that. So you see that you can get contact. This is a user. So if you want, you can show user.location. You can show location. Doesn't matter location. And if I save that, you see location is an object. Location dot let's maybe say city. Now we get different cities. You can also show email. Here, I don't know if you have style for that, but let's say small here. Let's do that is the email. Let's say dot email, and then we can also do small, small to get small text, and then you can also show. We can show user dot maybe is there contact, is there phone number? I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. I don't think so. Oh, phone number is there. So they can show email. We can show phone number. You can show different things. Okay, so I don't want to spend time here. This is, I was just showing you an example. So we can work now on something. Let's say filter. We can work on filter users or search. For that, we can maybe use it here. If you want to create another function, it's fine, but we can use it here. Just use here. Say filter, filter user. So we can do search. Okay, AI generated this. Const search input is equal to document dot get element by id search, and then search dot input. So you listen for input, and once we get that, we just get filter content. So we filter the content. Remember we talked about filter. This is the filter. So we take the content dot filter, contact, email, and include search. So if you want to contact by, you want to filter by email. So if I want to show you that this is the input we have, ID of search. So this is what we are getting, ID of search. But we can first of all make sure that the term is going to lowercase. So input can pass event. Let me just remove this one. We can close this for now. So const terms, such term is equal to, we can get the search input. If I console.log that here, console.log term, go to small screen. So if I type, for example, here Shabani, we're supposed to see here Shaban, you see we are getting here. But if I type uppercase, Shaban is still Shaban. So we can set that to lowercase. So to do that, we can just change method here. Dot to, sorry about that, to lowercase, to lowercase. Okay, so now I want to show you, if we type anything we type there, it should be now lowercase. If I type uppercase Shaban, you can see up there is uppercase, but you see getting lowercase. That's correct. So if we get that, we can now we can now take filter user. So we can take content.filter contact. So we can filter. We can take name. So this depends. We want to use the name. You want to use email. So it doesn't matter. We can let's filter by email. So I want AI to generate this. But if you don't want AI, you can do filter contact. So we can do we can maybe filter contact, or this is user. Let's say you send for user, and we can take that you return that name to lowercase, include term if to include the term. So user dot name the first to lowercase. So we also convert that to lowercase and dot include term. If include term is fine. If we get that, we can now just return that here. So if I save that, clear. So here we will, let's search for example Susan. Susan, you can get Susan. Let's search for example, I don't know which names are there. We just type the name Willie. Let's say Han, Natalie, and let's say Anne. And oh, Andre, this is Andre, like that. You get that. So this is how we do the filter. You can do the filter. You can so this is you can see that now. You can see now that we use all the JavaScript advanced method, advanced built-in method functions, all of that. So we use it in here to get the data, filter the data, and just show it. So you can go ahead and play with this a little bit more. Fetch more data, display by name, by whatever. You can see that we have much to do there. All right, guys. So thank you for watching. This was it for JavaScript mini masterclass. All right. So if you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, and also like the video, and consider also joining our membership to support our channel. My name is Shavan Musomba, and see you in the next video.